Hey guys, if you really like this episode, please support our podcast by going to talkmurder.com/join and becoming a Talco Supremo. On January 11th, 1992, two hunters discovered the burned body of a female victim. When police arrive, they can quickly see that this wasn't just another killing, but something far more sinister. In fact, few crimes in modern times have caused as much public horror as this grisly Indiana murder. So listeners, don your broomsticks because tonight we're visiting the witch's castle.
And baby, talk murder to me. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Woo! So what are we drinking tonight, Jen?
We're drinking Witch's Brew.
I like it. It's very tropical.
It is pineapple juice, ginger ale, pomegranate juice,
Rum, grenadine.
and no, I didn't put grenadine. I forgot.
Do you guys remember when like pomegranate juice was like the craze a couple of years back, where everyone was like obsessed with the health benefits of pomegranate?
Yes.
It's a palm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that now.
That's what we bought for this
That's what you
drink.
bought?
Yeah.
For the drink.
We watched a documentary on that.
On pomegranates?
Yeah, remember that guy that owns the pomegranate thing was like stealing water? It's like this whole water documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
He's like stealing water from other farms and like he's got a monopoly on water.
In California, right?
Yeah, it's the guy that owns the palm company.
I do remember this vaguely. Yes.
That makes me sad. People around the world need
Or
water.
it's like irrigating parts of California that shouldn't
I don't
be irrigated
understand his
or
water
something.
crisis. Somebody please explain to me. I feel honestly, if we die out because we don't have any water, I think we're fucking idiots.
Well,
There's water every fucking where.
Well, we need to figure out how to convert ocean water into drinkable water.
We've already figured that out. A
On a
thousand
mass
years
scale.
ago. You can
We have?
boil it and it'll disinfect it.
There's also those filter straws.
You could put iodine in it. There's actually this book called The Water Book, and each page is blank, but
It's a filter.
It's a filter, and like they give it to these villages, and you just rip out one page, and you can filter your entire well's water for like a week, just pouring it through one page.
Wow.
But yeah,
It's ingenious.
it's not that we don't have enough water; it's that the people are monopolizing it because they're trying to make money.
The people-
if we run out of water, we're fucking sad.
Well, it doesn't really matter in the end anyway, because everyone's going to be robots because technology is taking over. Just like
We're going
chickens. Do you
to
know
be
that chickens
robots.
outnumber humans? There could be an uprising of chickens.
Yeah, but no, because the chickens are caged and they don't have consciousness like we have consciousness.
I don't know. Do you remember that movie Chicken Coop? Chicken Run? Chicken Run. Do you
And they
remember that
learned how
movie?
to fly?
No, I don't remember.
No, that's
that movie.
Wallace and Gromit.
No, I thought Chicken Run. They figured out how to fly.
Oh, I don't know.
That was like
don't
their
know.
escape, wasn't it? They like built a
Maybe.
contraption to fly together.
Oh, yes. But it was by the same people that made Wallace and Gromit. And the chickens, they like wanted to take over because they were sick of being cut up and eaten. There are a lot of things that outnumber us. Insects outnumber us.
Well, that's because we manufacture chickens. You know those Raisinets I just ate?
Yeah.
The back of the carton said, this product may be genetically engineered.
Well,
I mean, China's genetically engineering eggs, and there ain't no fucking chickens in China. They're making eggs without chicken.
one time I went
They are starting to make meat in labs too.
I don't know. Like, we were talking about the...
It's much more sustainable.
They're also making honey, and they don't
Well,
even have
that's
bees
like
over there.
drugs.
The bee crisis is real.
Yeah.
Guys, bees are important, even though they're scary and might sting you. Honeybees won't, but some bees will. It's
Bees
because
aren't
they're...
important.
Yes, they are.
What happens if honey goes off the
It's
market?
not
It's
just
not
honey.
honey. It's not
What is
honey.
it?
They fertilize our flowers.
They pollinate.
Thank you, pollinate.
There will be another species
No.
that comes up
Nope.
and takes their place.
No.
That's how evolution works.
I don't think
Survival of the
there
fittest. The bees have the monopoly on the pollinization right now, but if they're off,
monopoly.
if they're out of the scene, then someone else will come up.
You're making bees sound
all right,
like
John.
Greedy Wall
So when all the
Street
bees,
capitalists.
when all the bees die out, you can pollinate the flowers. Surprise shots, surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise.
Watermelon pucker.
Nope.
Watermelon vodka.
No.
Watermelon rum?
No.
Watermelon tequila.
No.
Watermelon whiskey.
No.
Is it watermelon?
No.
Oh, I know. It's Jolly Ranch or something.
No.
Cotton candy.
No.
Feces.
Yes. No.
Ooh.
It is Western Sun, 10 times distilled South Texas prickly pear flavored vodka.
Interesting.
I've been-
I liked it.
I've been eyeing this for a while, and today I stopped by our friends at 6 Mile Spirits and finally bought it.
First, I'd like to say that I got yelled at again by one of our supporters, Taco Supremo.
Really?
Sorry, John, but you should have known I would yell at you for this. If it doesn't go through you, it shouldn't go through plumbing. Except toilet paper. No condoms or tampons in toilets. For the ocean, John. Sorry again. Scuba Megs couldn't stay quiet. So I guess,
Yes.
how is a toilet connected to the ocean? I'm just saying, I know I'm getting yelled at, and I'm not saying she's wrong, but our toilet goes to the ocean? So there's like tampons floating in the ocean?
Yeah.
Condoms?
Yeah. There's a whole
like-
bunch of shit in the ocean.
John's like, I'm never going to the beach again.
We just dump that shit in the ocean?
Sometimes.
Use condoms with sperm?
I mean, they go to.
Well, I guess they're already swimming, so it's like
They
a
go
new
to
home
it
for
through a
them.
sewer, and I think the sewer filters out some of that, but there's going to be some waste that flows into the ocean waters.
So there's used condoms in the ocean.
Probably.
Potentially. There's a hell of a lot of sperm in that ocean from whales.
Yes,
That's why
whale
the
sperm.
ocean is so salty.
That's so gross. Now, every time I go to the beach, I'm going to be looking out for condoms.
Oh, you should look about how much sperm when a whale ejaculates is displaced into the ocean.
I don't want to know that.
It's a lot of fucking sperm.
Does it like make other fish pregnant when they swim through it?
No, because
No.
you can only get pregnant through your same species.
Yeah, that would be the same thing as if some other type of animal tried to impregnate you.
Wouldn't
Well,
work.
what if they get another whale pregnant? Do they have to take responsibility for the baby?
Yes.
I
It's
believe
like-
child support is required. Yes.
It's like those guys that are like, I didn't cheat on you and have this illegitimate baby. You know, I got some semen on the toilet seat and she must have sat down. Doesn't really work that way.
no.
Correct.
People claim
Not at all.
that.
You know what people
Or
have
she
claimed?
touched it and now she's pregnant. No,
No.
that doesn't work that way.
You know what could potentially work, though? Turkey basters.
You can turkey base something up there. Yes.
Turkey-based what?
Semen.
You can use a
What?
turkey. That's how some women get inseminated. Yes, basically, it's a turkey baster.
Inseminated.
Did you ever see the movie The Switch with Jennifer Aniston?
Yes.
Yes, that is a legitimate
You've been
possibility.
inseminated. So thank you, Lemegs. This is the second time you yelled at me in public.
Thank you for holding John accountable.
I gave you 2 hints tonight. One was witches. Witches get stitches. And McNuggets. So, Nicole, where are we going? Who are we killing?
I believe we're going to Massachusetts tonight.
Is that where the Salem witch trials happened?
Yes,
it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A girl who thought she was getting really interested in the Salem witch trials in Salem, and she was studying or practicing her witchery really late one night and
Witchery.
decided to go to McDonald's to get some nuggets, and then she was mysteriously murdered when she was at McDonald's.
By a witch?
Not by a witch.
Oh, I only listened to like half of what you just said. Sorry.
That's all right. I really came up with that on the fly. That wasn't my best work, but that's okay.
We are going to Indiana. The name is a Native American name, meaning the land of the Indians.
Oh, that's fun.
So tonight we are going to Madison, which is right square in the middle of Indiana. If you're from Indiana, let me know. Let me know if you've heard this story. All right. So this is Don Foley.
Ooh, a recreational hunter.
It's
Uh-oh, he
always
found
a hunter
body.
that finds these bodies.
Yeah, man.
So go to talkmurder.com to see all the pictures. I'm putting everything up there. It was Saturday, January 11th, 1992. Don Foley and his brother Ralph. They were going quail hunting. You guys ever eat quail?
No.
Quail's amazing. When I used to work for my grandma's seafood restaurant, they would do quail. Quail is like the best type of bird
Yeah.
to eat. The only problem is so many bones.
Because it's small, right?
It's like a brim. Brim's amazing,
What's brim?
but it's so many bones.
What's brim?
All right. Well, I'm here with a bunch of Yankees tonight. So any of you Southern people, oh, Whitney, you know what some brim is. You know what some quail is, don't you, Whitney?
What do quail eggs taste like? Do they taste like regular eggs?
I've never had a quail egg.
I don't want to like buy them and not like them.
What's that royalty little bird that? So like really wealthy people eat this bird, but it's like a delicate. It's like small as a baby.
A Cornish hen?
And you have to. No, it's not a Cornish hen. You have to put. You have to cover your face when you eat it. Like you put this hood on and you eat it because it's so wrong to eat it. It's like a little baby bird. Some of these fucking rich people, they always eat it.
That sounds like something that would happen in an initiation ceremony for a cult.
I'm not talking about like rich like Brad Pitt. I'm talking about
like
that
royalty.
Prince Harry. They eat that stuff. It's like a small bird. If you're out there and you guys know what I'm talking about, let me know. It's a small bird. They cover their face because the theory is they're ashamed to eat it. It's a real thing.
I know. Now I'm fascinated. I want to know what it is.
All right. Anyway, we're not rich enough yet.
Correct.
Him and his brother go down a country road. They go way down in the country. They travel about 8 miles until they see a burnt pile of rags on the side of the road. Now, they are in, as Whitney says, BFE, which
Wayne let
Wayne,
us know what that is.
Thanks to Wayne, bumfuck Egypt, right?
Yes.
I don't understand the Egypt.
I guess it's just an expression that we've been living under a rock for our entire lives about.
Maybe because like some of Egypt is the desert and there's like nothing in the desert.
I've never been to Egypt, but
Me either.
if you look up the pyramids, it's like such a sight to see. But then you look across the road and there's like this shitty Pizza Hut and all it's like slums.
Yeah, it's like you turn the camera the other side
Yeah.
and it's the city.
They never do that, but like it's shitty on the other side. Anyway, well, the pyramids were built by aliens, but that's another podcast.
No, they weren't. They were built by
No, they were not.
Jews.
They were not built by Jews.
Yes, they were.
Number one, the rocks are
Oh
cut
my
so
God.
precise that even our modern day technology could not cut them that precise.
They were slaves.
Plus,
They were enslaved. They had to make it that perfect.
it would have took 1,000,000 years to build them damn pyramids today.
I do not think it was an alien.
Aliens built the pyramids, and plus they're
No.
precisely in line with the sun.
Okay.
They had
and
nothing else to do back then, babe.
Yahweh helped
The
them.
aliens built the pyramids as a communication system. That's
Why
the,
haven't they communicated more? Well, I guess we'll find out when
they are.
storm
We're just
Area
not
51.
listening. We're all too
How are we
busy.
supposed to listen?
We're too busy on our cell phones, too busy listening to podcasts out there. We don't listen to aliens, Jen.
Are they harmful?
Are you going to storm Area 51?
No, because there's nothing there. It's just like Fort Knox. There's so much gold in Fort Knox. You think there's any gold in Fort Knox? Bullshit.
I didn't know that was a conspiracy.
If there's aliens and technology, it's out in the middle of freaking Indiana in the cornfields. You got to go way in the back and open this secret hatch and then go down the secret elevator for like 1,000 feet.
Sounds
and
like
there's
you've
this
been to
whole
this
lab.
place.
Yeah, right.
Seems like what?
You've been to this place.
No, I'm saying. Well, it's just like where are all the nuclear bombs buried? They're
In the
buried
middle of
all over the
nowhere.
country, just
Yeah.
like in random places. Anyway, all right.
We could be on top of one.
Anyway, sorry. Now, he sees him and his brother driving their truck down. Hey, what's that? What's that, Don? It looks like a thing of rags over there. Somebody done burnt them rags. And they can still smell the rags burning. And now,
All right, so if it's fresh,
keep in mind, ain't nobody ever come down this road. This is an isolated country road in Indiana. And I'm going to show you the Google Maps, and you'll be like, damn. Now, he looks over, and his brother, he's like, Don says, hey, that's just a mannequin.
it's never a mannequin.
It's never just a mannequin, guys. If you ever see a mannequin, even if it's got his head chopped
What
off,
was
it's
the
never a damn
Best
mannequin.
mannequin one. Remember the New York guy? The Butcher of
Yes.
New York?
Yep.
Yes.
They quickly realized it wasn't a mannequin or a blow-up doll. Okay? And
True.
it was actually a charred victim,
Body. Yep.
a body. It was just laying there. Now, it's January. It's
Cold.
fucking freezing in Indiana right now. So they go back. They're like, we can't quail hunt today because we got to go get the sheriff. The Deputy Sheriff Randall Spry comes out there. Also, the Jefferson County Sheriff Buck Shipley arrived with also a few of the Indiana State Police and the forensic people and everything, because they know it's a body. Nicole, can you read the description of what the victim looked like?
Her face and upper body were charred beyond recognition. Some layers of skin flapped in the wind. As he knelt at her side, the Foleys looked in horror at the flesh that was still visible on the lower half of her body. Her legs were bloodied and spread wide open. She was nude except for a pair of blue panties, which had been pulled to one side.
Wow.
Now, the body was actually, it was posed. But like I said, it was freezing out there. So it's in this mud hole, like almost
frozen.
a shallow grave, frozen over by the time they got out there. Completely frozen over and charred pretty bad. I'm going to show you pictures of that, the autopsy photos. Go to talkmurder.com if you want to see some pretty gruesome shit.
There was a pool of blood underneath her head. Her legs were slightly bent and raised at the knees. Her hands were in the classic clenched boxer position associated with the fire victim, tightened up from the reaction of the intense heat. Both hands were partially covered in pseudo-casting material. Whatever material she was holding had melted down, forming red casts. Along with the face and upper torso, the hair had obvious thermal damage. There were clumps of hair that had burned off. There were other clumps that were black and matted and stiff like a paintbrush.
I wonder what that red material could be. Maybe they actually put boxing gloves on her? That wasn't supposed to be funny,
No,
but
I know. I don't understand the boxer position.
I guess if
Like you're holding, protecting your face.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Lesser thermal damage existed on the lower torso of the body, but it was an equally horrifying sight. She had some blistering on her legs from the heat, and the victim's blue panties were only partially burned. There appeared to be purposely pulled back slightly to the left around the vagina. The anus... Oh, Jen, you read this. It's too gross.
why do I gotta read it?
Just read the finish what I said.
The anus of the deceased had an unusually wide opening, and the body appeared to be posed in a sexual way which suggested some kind of sick molestation.
I don't even know why I try to read this shit.
Well, we can read.
All right, so here is where the body was
We're
found.
thoroughly desensitized.
All right, the body was actually found off Lemon Road. Now, this is Lemon Road. At the scene, there were tire prints. There was a melted bottle of something, completely melted. Later, they found out it was a bottle of Pepsi. The detectives looking at the body from what was left of the body, they noticed it was posed in a very provocative way.
So, do they think that that was done post-mortem?
I don't know the answer to your question, but I can tell you it was before because of the
okay.
story.
Interesting.
I don't
Okay.
know if they knew, though. That's a good question. I don't know if they could tell.
Before she died, they were posed that way?
Yeah. Now, the detectives immediately thought, because this is Indiana. This is way out in the bumfuck Egypt of Indiana. This don't happen in Indiana. In fact, this is the most gruesome crime that has ever been committed in Indiana.
Yeah, when I think of Indiana, I don't know why, but like I just think of wholesomeness.
I think of Indiana Jones.
Dun, dun, dun,
I also think of Larry
dun,
Bird.
dun, dun,
Yeah, okay.
dun, dun, dun.
Larry Bird is from Indiana.
He is. So is Brad Stevens and Gordon Hayward.
You know, but there's no one really from Indiana. It's like Larry Bird is like the biggest celebrity from there. Well, the Jackson 5.
I've never seen Indiana Jones.
Oh my God!
Oh,
what?
whatever. Don't watch the Skull one. The Crystal Skull sucks.
Oh my God! I love Indiana Jones. So
Indiana
much.
Jones, the first one is amazing.
I like The Last Crusade. That's my favorite.
Also, Harrison Ford said that he wouldn't let anyone play Indiana Jones after he dies.
No one can play Indiana Jones.
No, it's
That's
all
what
Harrison
that would be a
Ford.
fraud.
That's what he's saying.
That's
He
like
said
somebody-
he
That's
doesn't
part of
want anyone to.
I hope that's part of I hope we got that in a contract.
I
like-
heard that they were thinking of Chris Pratt, but
Ooh.
Harrison Ford was like, no one's playing Indiana Jones after I die.
I mean, Chris Pratt could make a good Indiana Jones, but Harrison Ford, he was a stud. He still is. He looks good.
That's like someone playing Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
Oh,
Clint
yeah, Clint
Eastwood is a
Eastwood.
I mean,
fucking
you
boss.
can't play
he knew
him.
my dad knew him.
Clint Eastwood. Damn.
Yeah. So I don't think they're very great actors. I don't think Harrison Ford is a great actor. I mean, you could tell, but he's so iconic because of that movie. I mean, you tell his acting's like subpar, but like he's got this personality. That's why people love him.
He's charming.
Yeah, very charming. Kind of like me.
Yes, you are.
Alrighty
Yes.
then. Okay, now let's go. What was I talking about?
We have to do a movie marathon at some point, though, Jen, and have you watch the movies. They're amazing. I thought I wanted to be. Actually, I did want to be Indiana Jones when I grew up.
I wanted to be a paleontologist.
Here, look at these photos.
If you had seen Indiana Jones, you may well have become one.
Look at these photos.
Is that her back?
Yeah, that's her back.
It's like, have you guys seen the trailer for the
head.
new Top Gun?
No.
You guys aren't grossed out by these?
Oh, I'm gross. I'm sorry. I should.
Is that a bullet hole?
Not, but
No, that's a knife wound to the back of her neck.
oof, that is some serious char. It almost looks like there's like sand on her head.
Yeah, probably dirt. How old do you think she is?
24.
37.
Now, detectives immediately thought that this was a drug deal gone wrong. Okay, because this doesn't happen in Indiana, and the crime was so gruesome that it was definitely a drug deal. If you want to read this, Nicole.
The 3 law officials thought that maybe the killing was a result of a drug deal gone wrong in nearby Indianapolis, and the victim had been brought to this rural district and pushed out of a car by a gang of thugs. I had to assume the body dumped here came from another part of the world, Shipley later told the press. It was a crime that had all the markings of a big city slaying.
So when he said it was pushed out of the car, the body was sitting right there. If they would have just put the body a few feet over into the dense brush, the body would have gone unnoticed for months. So it was like, all right, this is crazy. It's got to be a drug dealer that just threw her out there and then posed the body like this just to screw with us.
And
That's
like,
what these
didn't
detectives
care.
were thinking. They also found a class ring that survived, slightly charred, but it was from Jefferson High School. Throw that in there. Now, back at the station, it took them all day to process the scene. This was the most gruesome thing they've ever seen. I mean, these are all veteran cops that have been doing this forever. And they have never seen anything like this. And this is, in fact, the most gruesome crime that has ever been committed in Indiana. So if you're from Indiana, you got to have pride. I mean, I claim Pee Wee Gaskins, and that's a big thing to claim.
Oh, yeah.
I claim Lizzie Borden,
Oh, yeah, that's
who was
true.
actually acquitted.
That is true.
She was?
Yeah, she was acquitted.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I forgot that thing that we watched.
At 8:30 p.m., the detectives are back at the station when a 15-year-old, Sean Piles, walks in and tells them what he has overheard at the Andersons bowling alley just a few hours ago. All right? This 15-year-old, he's kind of hysterical. He's like, I don't know if this is true or not. I just had to come tell you guys what's going on. Now, the detectives are very interested because they just spent all day trying to figure out what the hell happened to this woman. No, I'd like to say the bowling alley is a local teen hangout. Teen hangout. He comes in and he says, all right, here's what happened, detectives, Mr. Detective. There were 4 girls, and they kidnapped a 12-year-old girl. Remember I said she was wearing her Jefferson High School class ring, or Jefferson junior high school ring. All right. They kidnapped a 12-year-old girl. They took her to the witch's castle where they sacrificed her.
What the fuck?
Shut the front door.
The hint was witches. What? You guys didn't know
But a
this
group
is
of
like
girls?
a sacrificial thing?
But a group of girls did this?
Witches are girls. You know any male witches?
Warlocks.
That's not
Wizards.
They're not witches.
Wizards.
It's like a...
You're a wizard, Harry.
Anyway, witches are girls. There's no
Right.
male witches.
No, they're
Wizards.
warlocks. Wizards
They're-
are good.
those are-
Warlocks, well, I don't
Warlocks are like ogres. That's like
No,
Dungeons
they're
and Dragons.
not.
All right.
catch the latest season of American Horror Story. They're
All right.
warlocks.
Aren't you guys even interested in what the witch's castle is?
Yes.
Is it a building? Ooh.
This is the witch's castle.
Oh, that's fucking creepy.
Go talkmurder.com to look at the witch's
That is
castle.
creepy looking.
There's a 9 in there.
What is that from?
It's a building. It's a real building.
What do you mean?
It's the witch's castle.
No, I know, but like did witches build it or did?
Well, I'm
was
gonna tell
this-
you about it.
Okay. Oh hell no, I wouldn't be walking around in those woods.
How you feeling, Nicole? You
Oh.
sound a little loose tonight.
Yeah, I needed the drink tonight.
Is it getting you drunk enough?
Yeah, it's definitely doing the job.
Why would you put in there? Roofies?
You know, I don't know why they call it roofies. Why don't they call it flories?
Because, no. Well, the drug is Rooflin. I used to have this buddy in the army.
That's from the Hangover.
I used to have this buddy in the army that would take Rooflin, and he would, like, roofie himself.
To go to sleep?
No, just to, like, hang out and shit. Because you take a small amount, it just makes you really fucked up.
That's like in Arrested Development when Job takes the forget-me-nots and he just roofies himself.
So go to talkmore.com. I'm putting a video on there of the witch's castle.
Oh,
And
video?
It's a paranormal video. They do EVPs and all kinds of crazy shit. This is the witch's castle. Let me scroll through these pictures for you guys.
Nicole, did you know the ghost hunters are actually from Rhode Island?
I did not.
This is out in the middle of Indiana.
In the middle of the
nowhere.
woods?
Yeah, in the middle of the woods.
Are there
that's
like
weird.
hobos living in here?
It looks like an
or-
old church.
Nobody lives in here. Let me tell you the story of the witch's castle.
Creepy as shit.
The legend has it, a coven of witches.
Coven.
Oh, fuck. Legend has it that a coven of witches once lived in this castle. Now, this is located in Utica, Indiana.
I don't know how. I mean, it's not a very big building. How would a whole coven live in there?
The witches were actually Native American. And way back in the day, I'm talking about like 1800s, way back in the day when this castle was first erected. Well, that was supposed to be spooky, but it sounded really weird.
You just,
Well, you just like
it
that
sounded
word,
like you were,
so-
yeah.
A group of Native American witches lived in this castle, and they were forced out by the townsfolk. I love the old stories where they use the word townsfolk. That's a great word. They were forced out because local children started going missing.
Ooh.
And
Were they sacrificing virgins?
the last straw was when a little girl from the town goes missing, and they knew these witches that lived in this castle took the girl and sacrificed her.
Were these still the Native
She's a
American
witch.
ones?
Burn her. Burn her.
So they go in, the townsfolk, with their pitchforks and their torches, and they burn the castle down.
Grab your torch and pitchforks.
I feel like
Okay.
I've heard this story before.
Once the townfolk began to search the property, they found small bones.
Eh.
They found human skin hanging from
Oh,
a
no.
clothesline.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
dear.
Oh, no, no.
And what appeared to be the heart of a child stewing in a pot on the
Oh,
fireplace.
God. That gives a whole new meaning to witches brew. I'm going to rename this drink.
It looks like we're drinking the
Yeah, it
heart
literally
brew.
does look like
It literally is blood red.
This
Like-
is the brew with the little
Oh,
girl's
no,
heart.
no, no, no. I'm
It looks
finishing
like-
mine right
It
now.
looks like
There's no
heart
more.
blood. It does look like heart blood, doesn't it?
What is the difference between heart blood and regular blood?
Because-
Deoxygenated.
Yeah. More oxygen. That's why it's so dense and red.
Well, I don't have any more, so I don't feel guilty.
These witches were tried as witches and cannibals, hung, and the
witches be
castle
bitches.
was burned to the ground.
Bitches be witches.
Many paranormal investigators claim, and some very compelling documentaries I've watched about this, that they can still hear very faintly the sound of the little girl mumbling, whispering, and floating around the property. The witch's castle. Insemination. Wait.
No.
Uh,
No, not quite.
that's what we were talking about earlier.
Inseminate me. All right, let me tell you about the real story. Tonight we are reading a book from, and she has a weird name, so please pronounce to somebody. Aphrodite Jones?
Aphrodite?
Aphrodite? Aphrodite Jones? The book is called Cruel Sacrifices. It's by Aphrodite Jones. And she is a true crime author. She's got other books. This is the first one I've read by hers.
Whoa, look at this tagline. A tragic story of twisted love and insane jealousy, teen lesbianism, and the sadistic ritual of killing a young innocent girl that became known as the most savage crime in Indiana history.
And this is the first
Whoa!
book I've ever read that used the word lesbian. I feel like people don't use that word anymore.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Oh, do they? Maybe it's the first time I've ever seen it in a word. The book was kind of meh. Okay. It had a lot of drama, teenage drama, junior high, sliding notes into the locker room. So obviously the book is fucking amazing. Okay. And you can get it for free on Kindle. If you go to talkmurder.com and go to the post, I have a link right there. It's for free for Kindle. Free for
Nice.
Kindle guy. All right, so let me talk a little bit about Shanda Sharer before we get into the story told by Tony Lawrence, the 15-year-old that actually was part of the murder. Let's go back to the sheriff's station. The 15-year-old is spilling his guts about what he heard at the bowling alley. Now, the bowling alley was a teen hangout, okay? These are teens. This is a 12-year-old girl that you guys saw earlier. Jen, you said she was, 34? You said she was, 24?
Mm-hmm.
12.
Wow.
But again, you can't really tell when you're burned alive.
yeah.
Anyway, so they were interviewing this guy, and he was saying everything he overheard. But he was interrupted when a 15-year-old girl named Tony Lawrence walked in and confesses that she was part of the crime. But she was also with her parents at the time, so they were actually making her confess. Well, not making her, but Shanda Sharer is the one that was burned to death.
Sorry.
Okay, she is the victim, 12-year-old victim. Now, she, at the time, was currently staying with her father since her mother and father split up. She would go there on the weekends to her father's place in Jeffersonville, which was kind of a middle class, almost upper class neighborhood, subdivision, grass kept nice or whatever. Not like Daniel Island. Holy shit, that place is nice. I walked around there today. I was like, damn, that place is sick.
I can't live there.
It is very nice, but it's very crowded. Like everything's close together.
Two-step pretty.
He lived on Capitol Hills Drive. Shanda was very popular. Now, some people say Shanda, but the mother actually calls her Shanda. So I'm going with the mother says.
Shanda.
Shanda was very popular at her school. She just moved to a new school, and she fit in very quickly. She was very attractive. She was starting to fill in, if you guys know what I'm saying. That sounds kind of weird. But she was getting the attention of all the boys.
Yeah.
And even the girls.
Oh, which one's she
Dun,
in
dun,
these
dun.
pictures?
She was athletic, great figure, and she attracted boys and girls. All right, she was athletic. She was also bisexual. She was a bisexual girl. She was currently seeing a girl named Amanda Heverin, which will come into play. But just to let you know, Amanda was the recent ex-girlfriend of one of our main protagonists tonight, Melinda Loveless, which
Protagonist or antagonist?
was protagonist, like the one that pushes the story forward. Isn't that what a protagonist is? One of the main characters, Melinda Loveless, who was a full-blown lesbian. Guys, we're going to be reading a lot of love letters tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Which is going to be my favorite.
Oh, God.
We're all going to have a chance to read some junior high.
Lesbian.
And all these love letters that we're going to be reading tonight were slipped through the locker slits. And in fact, two of these girls eventually became locker buddies. Did y'all ever have locker buddies? Yeah, I literally felt like I was back in junior high when I was reading this. To get to know Shanda better, you can read this, Nicole.
Dear Diary, I can't believe it, but it's true. It's time for a new school year. Let me tell you what I'm looking forward to the most and what I'm dreading the most. Well, this year I'm going to a different school. I'm sort of scared I won't fit in because I heard that there are hoods, pretty girls, and all those guys. I wish my mom would understand that I don't want to be 12. I want to be 13. I wish I could tell people I was 13 and my mom would go along with that, but I know how my mom is. She's not that kind of person, but I would love it if she would. I would work hard, but I'm already going to do that. I love my mom very much, but she doesn't understand how I want to be 13 and have people spend the night on school nights and talk on the phone past 10 o'clock. Love, Shanda.
Yeah, you know what's bullshit? When I'm in my room and I'm talking on the phone and then Nicole comes in there and be like, it's time to get off the phone. It's past 10. And I'm like, I'm talking to my friends. All right, so you got Melinda Loveless, Lori Tackett, Hope Rippey, and Tony Lawrence were the witches that night. Now, I know it's going to be hard because there's 4.
It's a lot to keep track of.
But you can separate them into 2 groups. because we're going to be talking a lot about pack mentality tonight. Okay, so there were two
interesting, yes.
main killers, Melinda Lovelace and Lori Tackett. So just think ML. Now, the two that were less involved are going to be Hope Rippey and Tony Lawrence. Tony is the one that's talking to the police right now. She's the one that came in
Interesting.
right after this happened.
She's the one who looked most menacing in her photo.
Now, this actually happened less than 24 hours ago. She came in the morning of to the police station. Does that make sense? Like, this just happened, and she's trying to tell. And she was involved. Without getting too far into the complexities of this story, keep in mind that Melinda Lovelace is the main girl tonight. We're going to talk a lot about her. She had a relationship with this girl named Amanda Heverin, who was bisexual. Now, Amanda was the one that wore like the basketball shorts, and she was a skater and a punk. Listen to punk rock, The Cure. So Amanda Heverin, she was the one that they're fighting over. Shanda is dating Amanda Heverin right now.
And who is jealous of that?
Melinda Lovelace, one of the
Okay.
main witches.
The curly
The
hair.
main witch.
Yep.
Her and Amanda had a passionate relationship, but they recently broke up. So the jealousy of her, Melinda Lovelace, I know there's a lot of girls' names, the jealousy of Melinda Lovelace seeing her ex-girlfriend, Amanda Heverin, with Shanda Sharer, just ate her up alive.
Were they like very sexual with each
Yeah,
other
they
at this
were.
time? Like they're having sex at this age?
Yeah. However, that was scissoring. I think y'all referred to it as.
What do you mean, y'all? We don't do
No,
that.
I'm saying like, I'm pretty sure girls scissor.
No.
I saw that on South Park. All right, so here's how it goes. Melinda Lovelace wanted to show Shanda Sharer a lesson. Now, she's popular. She's almost like a Girl Scout popular. She's all prissy. She has her hair like that. She uses Farrah Fawcett spray in her hair for pumps. You know, she's like and she's getting all the attention. Now, Melinda Lovelace was that at one point. She still is. But now there's this new girl on the block. She's coming to the school. And Melinda Lovelace was the top at one point, but now she's getting dethroned by this Shanda Sharer girl.
Okay, so Shanda is Lindsay Lohan.
Yes.
I've never seen that movie. So.
You never saw Mean Girls?
Jen, you have
Excuse
not
me?
even seen Indiana Jones. You expect me to watch Mean Girls and not
Yes,
Indiana
Mean
Jones?
Girls is good.
Absolutely.
Jen, you haven't seen half the movies you should have seen. You haven't seen American Psycho. You haven't seen
Every time
Indiana
I ask to watch it, you
Jones.
guys are like, no.
Because we've seen it, Jen.
She says, I'm going to teach that bitch a lesson. Melinda just wants to scare her to death. Okay.
Literally.
Oh, yeah.
So she pulls out this kitchen knife from her kitchen and she rallies up the troops. She gets all four of these girls, Melinda, Hope, Lori, and Tony, and they get in the car and they drive to Shanda's house or her father's house. Now, Melinda and Shanda has already been fighting. I feel like I'm in junior high when I tell this story. Now, Melinda and Shanda have already been fighting. Okay? So Melinda can't show up at the house because she's trying to lure Shanda out of the house. Or she can't be seen at the house because she's trying to lure Shanda out of the house. So she hides in the back. They park about half a block away from Shanda Sharer's house. Melinda was just going to threaten her a bit. That's what she was telling all the other girls. Well, actually, she was saying, I'm going to kill her. I'm sick of this. She wears her hair like me. She pushes her boobies up like me. She wears the same jeans.
I think when anyone says the word boobies, it just sounds fucking stupid. Like, it just sounds really like a very immature word. That's how I feel about the word titties, too, but boobies even more so.
Yeah, I like titties better than boobies.
So I should have said the entire story tonight, these girls don't know where the hell they're going. In fact, just to get to her house, they had to stop at McDonald's where they got some chicken nuggets. That's not the only time they...
Yeah, they did.
That's not the only
Thank you.
McNugget part. But
Uh-oh.
they stopped at McDonald's to get some chicken nuggets and ask where they were going. Now, they finally get to her house. Now, Hope and Tony go to the door to knock. Now, Melinda's hiding. Okay. Because if Shanda Sharer knows that Melinda's in there, she would never go because they were literally having fights. They're fighting over the same girl. So Hope and Tony go to the door and they knock. Oh, Jen, I'm not taking her a shot, dude. No, I'll be too drunk to tell these love letters. We have like 10 love letters we got to read tonight. And they're all about lesbian sex. Hey, I want to say, guys, I've been getting a lot of taco specials. We are overloaded. So next week, I'm going to try my best for my fans to put out 3 episodes. No promises just yet, but they will all be taco specials because I got to get some of these out of the kitchen and served up to you guys hot and fresh. So
Mama rolled in that body, got every man in it wishing.
if I have skipped yours for some reason and you think maybe I forgot yours, maybe I have. You need to go on the forum and make sure that you're not drowned out somewhere.
Kiss ass.
Loving you is even because you're beautiful. Every time we do, I'm more in love with you. La 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 la. Do do do. I really can do that note when I'm not drunk. I really can. If you don't believe me,
Let's get on with this. We just took a break and took a few shots, so this is part 2.
Yeah, I needed this tonight.
This podcast is going downhill pretty quick right now.
Yes.
More McNuggets.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty then.
I'm glad Nicole agrees. Let's get that on record, on video. Thank you.
Oh, Nicole, read this. This is what Melinda Lovelace. I used to have a friend named Lovelace. Well, not a friend.
Is it Lovelace?
No, her name was Lovelace. Can you read this lesbian love
Sure.
quote?
She said she thought Shanda was cute, that she'd like to have sex with Shanda, that she was going to run the knife up and down her stomach and play with her. Oh, that turned quickly.
That's what Melinda Lovelace said about Shanda. She's so cute, but I just want to run my knife up and down her. The idea here was Hope and Tony go up to the door. Now, Melinda is very bossy. She's so bossy about this whole thing. She needs to get Shanda in the car. That's the main mission. Because they're going to take her to the witch's castle. So Hope and Tony go up to the door. Knock, knock, knock. Hello? The father opens up and they say, "Can I speak to Shanda? We're her friends." And then Shanda comes out. "Hey, Shanda, we're friends. We go to the school together. Amanda, your girlfriend, wants to meet you tonight at the witch's castle." Now, this is a local teen hangout, so they were going to meet there, and do what they do.
Have sex.
Have sexual intercourse, coitus. And Shanda says, "Not right now, because my father's home." So go ahead and read this, Nicole.
Not right now, because my parents are awake, Shanda said in a hushed voice. Come back around midnight and I'll go. And be sure to have Amanda with you when you come back. Keep her with you. Have her spend the night with you or something.
They drive back to her house to wait. Okay, so they're probably 45 minutes away. And to wait out the night, they decided to go to this little skate park. A1 Skate Park. It's another local teen hangout. There was a hardcore punk band playing, and they wanted to slam dance. So they go to this hardcore punk show, and they slam the shit dance. They slam dance. They dance out the slammers. Y'all know what slam dancing is?
No.
Some people call it slamming, and some people call it pogoing, and some call it the skang. But I just call it dancing because that's normally what you're doing. This one, they just call this more or less a slam. It's just keep going in a circle, keep moving your arms and stuff, and just bouncing off people, pushing them away. Then you'll see people stepping out through the crowd like this, pushing people off as they bounce into them.
What?
And then there's also people, you'll see them, they'll be doing the pogo. They're usually pretty close to the stage. And you keep moving around in a circle like this, because that's the way the pit moves, is in a circle. People jumping off stage, you push them away, and just try not to get out of that circle, because if you do, you get out of the beat.
This is quite the video. Wow.
That's not what I was picturing.
All right, that was me in high school. Slam dancing. Go to Talk Murder to see that slam dancing video I found on how to slam dance. Because when I see something, I was reading this book and it said they went to slam dance. I'm not just going to be like, okay, I'll put that in there. No, I'm going to go research what the fuck it is. You know?
That's funny.
That was very
And that's what it is.
That was an interesting video.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
So they finally make it back to Shanda's house and they pick her up. The fathers went to sleep. It's 2 a.m. He done went to sleep. And she says, you know what? I'm going to sneak out with these bitches. But she didn't know they were witches. Be witches. I'm going to sneak out with these bitches.
These bitches be witches.
I'm going to go see my girlfriend, my lover, my everything, my sweet serenades.
Love of my life.
Amanda Heverin. Now, they were just going to scare her a little bit. Melinda kept saying, you know what? I'm just going to scare her. I got this knife. I'm going to make her pee-pee in her pants. I'm going to scare the shit out of her. That's all we're doing. So they drove back to Jeffersonville. Now, the whole time they're getting lost. They had to once stop at another gas station, ask for directions. I mean, I swear to God, none of these girls should be driving anyway. And they actually make it to the witch's castle. Shanda finally agrees to come with them because she wants to see Amanda. And as soon as she gets in the car, Melinda jumps from the back with a knife. And this is what she says.
Surprise! I guess you weren't expecting to see me, Melinda squealed.
Please don't hurt me.
Shanda yelped and started crying. Shut up, bitch, Melinda told her as she pressed the dull of her knife even harder into Shanda's neck. I just want to talk about Amanda. I want you to tell me the truth about Amanda. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to talk.
So she, the whole time, is screaming. They push her out at the witch's castle, and they're like, we're going to sacrifice you. We're going to kill you. We're going to sacrifice you here. You're messing with my girl. This night it ends.
Sounds like a 50s gang.
Now, the witch's castle is actually on private property, and they got spooked, when they saw a few cars driving by. So they threw Shanda back in the car, and they all drove. And they went down this isolated road. So they didn't actually do anything at the witch's castle. They just pushed her around a little bit, threatened her. But they got spooked there. They were going to
kill her there.
Well, you say kill her there. Melinda, none of these girls, I don't even think Melinda knew that they were going to kill her that night. I think even Melinda knew that they were just going to scare the shit out of her. That's why we're going to talk about pack mentality. So they drove back to Jeffersonville and an isolated country road, Route 62. Now, the whole time they're driving, they're playing really creepy music in the background. Lori, which we'll talk about later, she is actually a Wiccan. Okay? She's like the only real witch. She was Pentecostal at first.
The rest are just pretending.
She got out of Pentecostalness. She went back, and then she finally said, screw it, I'm doing Wiccan stuff.
Pentecostals are the one that like speak in tongues, right?
And most of these girls, yeah, they do. So creepy. If you're a Pentecostal, please don't stop listening. Most of these girls have cut themselves. They've got cuts on their wrist. But Lori is the actual Wiccan in the group. So she is also the protagonist. She wants to push things forward. And in fact, Melinda, even if it wasn't for those two, I don't think this girl would have got murdered. I think if it was just one of them, but they both kind of played off each other's energy, as you'll see. So they get to this isolated country road, Route 62. Tony and Hope stayed in the car. Now, remember, Tony's the one telling the police all this right now. This is through her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
In your eyes.
Tony Lawrence had the least active role in the whole murder. In fact, she was scared because she can't defy the leader, Melinda Lovelace. She can't be like, this ain't cool, peeps. I'm outie. Because peer pressure and shit. You know what I'm saying?
True. You don't want to look like a wuss.
Yeah. Melinda and Lori, they push Amanda out of the car. She's screaming, crying, tears growing everywhere. Don't kill me, don't hurt me, don't hurt me. She's saying, I'll stay away from Amanda. I'll stay away from her, I promise. I know she was yours, I promise. Melinda and Lori strip her down to her panties, Okay, now they want to sexually assault her right there, but instead Melinda punches her right in the stomach. And this is what Shanda responds with.
Please stop. I have asthma. I can't breathe, Shanda whimpered.
Melinda takes Shanda's head after they punch her, and she starts slamming it on her knee. Now, this is the point where...
Are they on any sort of drugs or anything?
No, but a lot of them
Or
have
drinking?
mental issues, as you'll see. Melinda takes her head and starts slamming it on her knee. Bow, bow, bow. Now, this kind of crosses the line because now you've got the face all beat up.
Right.
Punching in the stomach's one
Right.
thing. You can cover the bruise with a shirt. But now you got blood going everywhere, the broken nose of the face.
Right.
There's a line that was just crossed there. Tony, like I said, the other two girls, Tony and Hope, are in the car. They're watching all this. Melinda and Lori push her down on the ground. Melinda takes the dull knife and puts it right on her throat and tries to slit her throat.
Ooh.
Just like that Bianca Devins one, trying to slit her throat wide open. The knife was too dull. She actually takes her foot and she presses it down on the knife and tries to just dig it right in there.
What
dig
is
it
enough?
in
Enough.
her
Like
throat.
that's just it's too
But
much.
it was just too dull. The knife was just too dull. So it wouldn't work. So they take a rope from the car that they brought with them. Now they circle the rope.
It's kind of interesting that they brought with them so many things. Like,
Yeah.
it kind of makes it seem like it was maybe more premeditated.
right.
Yeah.
Like, they brought these things, like, just in case. Like, just in case what? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think they were going to tie her up in the witch's castle, and I don't know though. I mean, they could have. Anyway, they take the rope, they circle it around her neck. Now think about this in your mind. So you take the middle of the rope, you circle it a few times around the neck. Now one of you gets on one side, the other gets on the other, and you guys walk away from each other. So you see the rope is tightening around her neck.
My goodness.
Oh, yeah.
They pull it so hard that she passes out. Now they think she's dead. For a little bit,
fucking gruesome for teenage girls.
they think she's dead already. Okay.
Were they happy about that?
Yeah, they were real
All
happy.
right.
Yeah. They throw her back in the trunk. They drive to Lori's house to grab a Pepsi. As I said, they thought she was dead. They're upstairs drinking the Pepsi in her room, you know, doing girl stuff or whatever. And they hear her kicking and screaming in the trunk. Now, she kind of lives in, they're neighbors around her place. So she goes down there and she opens the trunk and Lori starts stabbing her a few times. And one time, as you saw in the autopsy photo, right in the back of the head. Because they thought she was already dead. Now she's not. I'm going to stab her a few times.
Make sure she's dead.
Once in the back of the head. Okay, now she's dead. Shut the trunk. Go back and drink some Pepsi. They go back upstairs, and Lori pulls out her rune stones, because she's a Wiccan, so she has rune stones. And she starts telling Melinda's future. And it's all bright and happy, and she's with Amanda, and everything's so perfect. Anyway, I didn't know what runestones were, so I looked them up, and I found this video of this Wiccan or witch or something telling about runestones.
Is it like a Ouija board?
Hey guys, I'm AD. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about runes, one of my favorite subjects, one of my favorite things to use and cast. First, I want to start off with rune lore. In the beginning, before runes were created, Woden, or Odin, ended up hanging himself on the world tree in order to gain the knowledge and wisdom from this tree. And through that time that he hung there, he actually founded the runes, and he shared them with everyone around him. So not only were runes used for divination and casting, they were also used as a part of the language, or Old English, or Norse.
All right, anyway, that's about runes.
Well, I don't get it. I still don't get it. But
They're
I-
like stones or something. I don't know.
But I would like to. I would like to.
Somebody would get it out there.
Well, I would like to get it. But here's my point: is I'm really actually very interested in learning about different religions and cultures and what other people's beliefs are. Even though I'm pretty set in my my views, but I think it's interesting to learn about like what other people believe to get their perspective. That was kind of an interesting video.
Well, as I told you last time, Southern Baptists are the only one getting into heaven, Jen. That hasn't changed. Alrighty then. So now they drive to Lemon Road, So they all get in the car. They just drank Pepsi and did rune stones. They all drive to this little abandoned road called Lemon Road, the place where she was actually found. And the whole time she's screaming. They actually had to pull over once, and Lori gets out to shut her up, and she hits her with a tire iron. If you want to read this.
Every time she screamed, we opened the truck and hit her over the head with a tire tool, Lori told them, laughing.
Laughing?
So I'm giving you little snippets here, but the actual book was pulled from court documents, and it's pretty gruesome. Okay, so it talks about when they opened the trunk, because she's been stabbed multiple times. It talks about, her hair was beautiful, blonde and curly, but now it's all red. They talk about when they opened the trunk, eventually she's just rocking back and forth, and she just mumbles, "Mommy, Mommy." It's like really in depth.
Sad.
You could get that book on Kindle Unlimited if you go Talk Murder. I'll put a link for you.
You know what I think is the worst part is that I tried to verbalize this earlier, but I couldn't get my words out. I think is that instead of bonding together as a community, as this small group, probably at that time in the 90s of lesbians that were out and comfortable with their sexuality, albeit being so young, instead of bonding and empowering each other, they commit this gruesome crime, and it's just so sad. I don't know.
I'm kind of censoring a little bit. If you want to see everything, you got to read the book. It's very gruesome, but they basically torture her for 8 hours straight.
Ew.
Kicking, punching, spitting in the face, sexually assaulting her with a tire iron. That's why, when you read her anus was so spread out, that's because the tire iron was they were just degrading her in every way. It was mainly Melinda and Lori that was doing this. Now, Hope had less of a responsibility in the murder. She actually took Windex and was spraying it in the eyes and stuff. Now, she was doing that,
Awful.
I think because she wanted to have some part in it because, number one, they were scared too. Her and Tony were scared. They didn't want anything to do with this. You'll see that in the book. Lori was bloodlust. I mean, she loved this stuff. The Wiccan, she loved all this stuff. She was laughing about it, having a great time. Melinda was also loving it. Tony and Hope, they didn't really want anything to do with it. Hope gets out and tries to be part of the gang. She didn't want to stab her or whatever, so she sprayed Windex in her eyes. Now, they torture her for 8 hours, everything imaginable. You can think of beating, stabbing. She's still alive. They're spitting on her, raping her.
I wonder if Hope did that. I mean, you were talking about pack mentality, but I wonder if she did that so that they wouldn't,
Yeah, that's what she didn't want to. She did that to appease the leader.
Right, so that they
That was the
wouldn't
only
turn
reason
on
she
her.
did it. They actually stopped. So they threw her back in the trunk, and they stopped at a gas station, and they bought a 2-liter Pepsi. They drank a little bit, poured the rest out, filled the rest with gasoline. At this point, they opened the trunk, and she's rocking back and forth. She's still alive. So this is 8 hours of torture.
She's a fighter.
Now, Hope poured the gasoline on her. I know I said Hope didn't have as much responsibility, but she was pressured. Lori was like, just pour it on her, Hope. And Hope's like, no, can you do it? Lori's like, no, don't be a pussy. Here, take it. Pour it all over. Within minutes then, she was on fire. Completely doused with gasoline and burnt on fire. They drove away, but then they came back about 5 minutes later because they didn't think that she was... it was cold outside. They wanted to make sure that she was burning. So if you want to read this is what they did when they drove back.
There was still some gas left in the Pepsi bottle, and Melinda poured it onto the smoldering body. She stood there for a second and watched it flame up again. Then she threw the Pepsi bottle down. She told the girls that Shanda's tongue was going in and out of her mouth, and she made fun about that when she got back in the car.
That's pretty bad.
It's twisted.
What's really bad about this story, the worst thing about this story is she was tortured for 8 hours and she didn't die. You know how she died? The medical examiner found soot in her lungs, which means her ultimate cause of death was being set on fire. She burned alive. After an 8-hour torture session, it was being burned alive that actually killed her because she was inhaling the smoke.
That's awful.
Because they found it in her lungs.
That's an awful way to die.
Yeah.
I mean, that last sentence, her tongue was going in and out of her mouth. That's so awful. Here, Jen, you can read this.
You should have seen it. It was so funny, Melinda said. I'm glad she's dead. I'm glad she's out of me and Amanda's life.
Now, at 9:30 a.m., this is what's really despicable. At 9:30 a.m., all four of the girls, okay, this is about the same time that the body was being discovered by the quail hunters. At 9:30 a.m., the girls are standing there in the McDonald's line ordering breakfast. And they actually order sausage biscuits and then take the sausage patty out, and then say, hey, this looks like Shanda, doesn't it? Doesn't this look like Shanda? The sausage biscuit. It's all, brown and burnt.
Oh my goodness, that's disgusting. That's awful.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's awful.
It's pretty bad.
Like it was a joke to them.
Yeah, this whole thing's a joke to them.
A life is not a joke.
All right, later they go back to Lori's home and they start to clean the car out, and this is what Lori says.
Lori found something that looked like a bloody piece of skin. She picked it up and was feeling it and looking at it. Look, it's a piece of her head, Lori said.
Oh my goodness.
And then it brings you back to Tony Lawrence telling the police stories, where we're at now. Now, let me talk a little bit about Melinda Loveless. Why would someone do this shit? What do you guys think about this murder? Pretty bad, isn't it?
Like,
one of the worst, I
mean,
think.
it's fucked up, and then you consider the age, and it's appalling.
Like, they killed a 12-year-old girl.
And they're themselves so young.
It's
minors. They're minors.
I almost don't even have any words.
Now, if you read the book, I'm not going to get too far into this, but Melinda Loveless, the main girl that was having the fight with Shanda in the first place about her girlfriend, she grows up in a very abusive home. She's the youngest of 3 sisters, and the father, Larry, was molesting all the children.
Oh.
Okay? He was a Vietnam vet. He was just a piece of shit when he got back, beating his wife, cheating on his wife, making his wife do degrading things, alienating her from her family.
That sounds like severe symptoms of PTSD. I'm not defending that, but I'm just saying that's probably the war had probably changed him.
So the book, you got to read the whole story in the book, but just know that Melinda was the youngest and all the daughters were sexually abused. He abused the cousins. He was a pedophile. That's what he was. But Melinda, you really got to read the book to understand this, but she became hard to explain connection between her and her father. She was getting molested, yeah, but she was very dependent on her father. Does that make sense? They would sleep together. Like, he would sleep with her in the same bed and have sex with her and everything. It was really awful. But Melinda became so dependent on the dad. It's really bad. If you read the book, you understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, man. That's
But
awful.
so she grew up in a very, very bad home. And in fact, after this story takes place and they're all in prison, because they all get sent to prison, obviously, the father, from the stories that Melinda tells to the judge, the father is put in prison.
Good piece of shit. That's very sad that she grew up in that type of environment, but that doesn't make what she did any better.
All right, somebody read that.
That summer, all Melinda talked about was one bad experience after another. According to Melinda, her first sexual encounter with a boy ended terribly. After sex was over, he slapped her, treating her like she was scum. Soon she decided she would become bisexual, and that made Melinda happier. She still went out with guys, but she increasingly realized that girls could satisfy her needs more. Eventually, her cousin Lisa introduced Melinda to Amanda Heverin.
Now, as you'll see from the love videos, are the love letters that we're going to read when we're going to read them buzzed. I'm kind of drunk. Amanda was caught in the spider web between these 2 girls.
Sorry, I'm not home right now. I'm caught up in your spider web.
You got Shanda Sharer that would also go out with boys. So she was bisexual, and she was playing both sides of the field. Then you got Melinda Loveless that was a lesbian, and Amanda Heverin is right in the middle getting pulled by both. And to it came this very unhealthy tension that resulted into this.
Devanin noted that Melinda suffered from low self-esteem, and given the history of the family, she thought it was possible that Melinda had been molested. Melinda was obsessed with Larry. She even tried to imitate his clothes and mannerisms, the counselor discovered. Melinda confessed her same-sex relationship, talked about her guilt feelings about her father, blaming herself for his disappearance, and expressed great shock and anxiety when she learned that her two sisters alleged that they were sexually abused by Larry.
So Melinda is saying that she was never sexually abused. Larry's the father. That she was never sexually abused by her father. But it's very obvious to the counselor and to everyone. You just read the book. You'll see. If you really want to dive into this story and dive into Melinda's background to see why someone could do something like this, if you believe in nurture versus nature kind of thing, I mean, there's no excuse. But she grew up in a fucking horrific family life.
I mean, we've been doing, this is episode, 70 something?
Or 7, I don't know.
I mean, so many of the stories that we've covered, we've talked about the solved cases at least. So many of the cases that we've covered, the murderers in question have really terrible upbringings. Not all the time, not 100% of the time, but it is making a very interesting case about this whole nature versus nurture.
This is what Melinda's cousin Lisa claimed that she saw.
I ate lunch with Melinda one day, and she was like being mean to her. She was making fun of her hair.
Shanda. She's making fun of Shanda, sorry.
She was saying, "Look at her boobs," Lisa recalls. Shanda had gotten in trouble or something, and she was cleaning the tables. Whenever she would clean another table, Belinda was making fun of her, calling her an ugly girl, stuff like that, just because she thought she was trying to take Amanda away from her. She just made it known that she didn't like her.
This is one of the many love letters that were slipped through the locker vents of Amanda and her lesbian lover, Shanda.
Shanda, sorry I didn't call. I forgot. Could you give me your number and your classes again, please? Hey, so how do you like ISS? I guess it's okay. I don't want you to think I'm a bad person or anything.
Just so you guys know, ISS is in school suspension.
Yeah,
in case
and
you didn't know that.
After school suspension is ASS.
I don't like to fight.
I don't know if that's real.
I hate fighting. It's just when I had you on the ground getting ready to hit you, I couldn't because you looked so helpless down there. But then you swung at me, so I started hitting you and pulling my hair. Well, I'm laying in bed about 10 p.m. Time for me to go to bed. Listen, okay, Shanda, I know the way you are now. Either you're putting an act on me, or you're saying you like me, or you're putting an act on your friends. You act so different around your friends than you do to me. What's up? You're so nice to me. Please tell me because friends don't tell me their classes for the hell of it. So there's got to be a reason. I have a question to ask you. I know this is going to sound dumb, but do you kind of, in a way, like girls? If so, I think it's cool because it's so different. Is that why you're so nice to me? Do you think I'm cute or something? Please tell me the truth. I won't laugh because I think it's cool. Your friend, Amanda H. P.S. Tell me if you do because I would really like to know. Melinda said she asked you about that, but you said it was cool. And you wrote to me and that said it's nice. Please tell me.
All right, so we are starting on the locker love letters between the lovebirds tonight. I hope you guys are ready to read a lot of juicy notes.
Always.
Shanda, hey girlfriend, what's up? Please don't let Melinda bother you. Please don't stop liking me because of her. I tried to call you about 3 times, but your mom said you couldn't talk. I said, okay, thanks. I was wondering, do you still like me? If so, I'm glad. I have a lot in store Friday or Saturday. Something you've been talking about for a while now. Do you know what I mean? I'm just joking. Or do you not want me to joke? Do you want me to happen when I got in store? If so, answer back yes. If I see you Friday or Saturday, okay? So how are you and Ray doing? I saw you all walking in the halls, holding hands, kissing each other. Goodbye. I walked behind you yesterday to Mrs. Walker's room yesterday. Well, gotta go. Love, Amanda. P.S. I think I'm starting to like someone. You know her.
All right, so I'm going to take one. Shanda, hey, I'm in band 6th, and I saw you today coming out from the fire drill. I thought you looked very cute. Listen, Sat, maybe we can work something out. Like you meet me somewhere and we'll hang out. I'll talk to you about it. Love, Amanda. P.S. Yes, I will flirt. Will I have sex or make love with you? Now, that's a big question for such a little girl. Can you back your word up?
Amanda, why did you write her fucking name on your folder? It hurt so much when I saw it. I didn't think you'd put her ugly name on your folder and you wrote it. You must have liked her enough to write her name. Why? Well, I'm gone. Melinda. P.S. Just tell me you like her once, 'cause I know.
Shanda, sorry about Nathan. Sometimes he can be a bother to me. Sorry I slipped and said some bad words. Well, as you know, I got grounded. I'm always grounded, so don't call. I'll call you, okay? I will come over when I get a chance, so I'll probably write a lot of letters. When I'm grounded, I write a lot of letters. I hate my dad sometimes. He doesn't want me to hang around with Nathan. Sorry you had to hear him yelling. I hate it too. Okay, gotta tell you. I can't hold nothing back from you, Shanda. I went back to Melinda's house. She asked me to go back with her. I probably wouldn't have got grounded if we didn't stop off at Melinda's house. What kills me is that I want to go with both of you when you do go to your dad's Friday. Well, if I'm not doing anything and you want me to go with, I will if my dad lets me. Well, I gotta take a shower. Be back after I take it. 8:30. It's 8:45. I'm back. As you can see,
What?
that's what I mean when I say I'm confused, because I love you both. Shanda, I love you. Well, listen, if I'm not busy, I'll write you again tonight. Love ya, Amanda Pooh. Amanda loves Shanda.
Holy fuck, what is going on?
Shanda, hey girlie, were you mad at me when I let you go? It seemed as though you were, 'cause you slammed your phone down. Well, you wanted to know if I'm in love. You love me, but deep down you probably really don't. Like you said, you may never ever stop liking me. I hope not, 'cause I might have to shoot you up. No, just joking. Don't get me wrong, I like you and everything, but I like Melinda too. And you got to understand, I knew her a lot longer, about a year. She says the same thing. She says she's in love with me, and she doesn't really know till about 2 or 3 months after she knew me. But I'm not saying I wouldn't kiss you. I would love to. I never said I wouldn't make love to you. I don't know what to do. I have 2 beautiful girls who like me, and I don't know what to do, Shanda. I can't say I love you because I don't know. I like you. I don't want to be mad at you. I hope you never stop liking me because I look forward to a good future with you. Please still like me, okay? Please try to write back or talk to me and tell me what you think. But Shanda, I never want you to quit loving me. I think it's sweet of you to say you love me. I love it when you say I love you in 6th period. Please don't stop saying it.
You see why I love this story. All right, so Amanda is caught into spider webs. So leave a message
And I'll call you back. A
I'll read this one.
lively story, but
Shanda.
leave a message and I'll call you back.
Shanda, hey girl, what's up? I'm in study hall being real bored. Amanda was outside my door, so I played it off. And I got something to drink. Dumbass teacher. Well, have you decided if you're going to attend the dance? I'm not. I'll probably get to the mall and see a fucking lame movie or something, you know? Well, I've bored you enough, so I'll TTYL. Babe, love ya.
I mean, Shanda just had this airy attitude about her. I mean, when I would just talk to her, she was real sweet and nice, and she just laughed and had fun, and she was kiddish. Melinda said we would walk around, and we would wear real tight jeans. She started dressing like me and doing her hair like me to please Amanda, I guess. I would just yell at her and threaten. I would just say stuff like, "She's trying to look at me now," just, you know. She would get on my nerves wearing these tight jeans and shaking her butt around school, and Amanda would stare, and I would be right there with Amanda, and that's disrespect to me.
My feelings for you are getting stronger and stronger each day. I know sometimes it may seem like I really don't give a damn about you, like I don't even know you. It's just I'm scared of treating you the wrong way. I just don't want to do something wrong and fuck us up. Right now, I just don't know about relationships with anyone because I already got hurt in one. Plus, we haven't even gone together for that long. I didn't ask Melinda to go study with me till about 6 or 9 months after we had been going together. You know, I do care about you. It's just I have mixed emotions. In a way, I still love Melinda. I think I always will. I think that's something that will never change about me, Shanda. So I guess you will just have to grow to love me like that. I mean, I still get jealous over Melinda when she talks with other people. I'm just not over her yet. It will take a while because love takes time. If you think you can wait it out, it will prove how much love you really got from me. But deep down inside, it's like maybe you're only doing this because it's something new. That's one big question I need to ask you. I know sex is fun, but how come you want to have it every time I'm over there? Love's not about sex. Well, it helps, but love is loving someone for who they are, not for what they're capable of doing in bed. Well, I really gotta go. Love ya, Amanda Hevron. Right back soon.
All righty then. They're getting juicy. Now, I want to tell you, around this time, there was a school dance, and this is what really set it off. Amanda's caught in the spider web between these two girls. Both of them want to take her to the dance, and she doesn't know which one to choose. She finally chooses Shanda, but then Melinda shows up after the dance when they're outside. They're together, kissing and holding hands, and then Melinda shows up and causes a racket.
Shanda, hey honey, yes, I do love you, but it feels just like Melinda has got me in some kind of trance. I don't know how to get out of it. I'm scared. If I try to get out, something bad will happen. I'm scared to death. Love ya, Amanda. Shanda, thanks for the note. Hey, I don't ever think I would tell Melinda we were going together. She would probably kill you. Yes, I love you a lot, Shanda, honey. We'll talk after school. Love you, Amanda.
All right, and around this time, the dance happened. Melinda shows up, and she slaps Shanda in the face, and then it's quickly broken up. After this, the fatal night happens. All right, so let me talk about the sentencing. All four girls were tried as adults, and all four accepted plea bargains in order to avoid the death penalty.
Well, I'm glad they were tried as adults.
To avoid the death penalty.
Yeah. Tony and Hope, the ones that were least involved, they received lighter sentences. Tony Lawrence, about 20 years.
Wow.
Rippy getting 50, but it's shortened to 35 on appeal. Tony has already been released from prison in 2000. She actually has kids of her own. After serving 9 years.
Wow.
And Hope, Rippy, served 14 years, and she got out in 2006.
It's interesting how they served much lighter sentences than they were actually given.
Right.
Well, we didn't really have time to talk about the pack mentality, but the psychology behind the pack mentality.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure.
And they weren't the ones directly doing the killing. In some ways, they were kind of like, I don't want to say they were innocent bystanders, but they were bystanders.
Both Melinda and Lori received 60-year sentences. Yeah, they're both still in prison, but the really interesting thing about this, how this ends here, is Melinda, depending on how you view this, found a program in prison. She's still in prison, called the ICANN program. Basically, the inmates get trained to train dogs for people with social disabilities or whatever. So she trains dogs, and she is one of the best trainers in Indiana. Now, she's still in prison, okay?
I have seen that this is like a program that...
Yeah, so the ICANN. And she is...
Yeah.
Depending on what you believe, she's rehabilitated. And
I don't think they should get out of prison necessarily,
she's
but I
not.
think that's a great use of someone's time in prison.
she's not getting out.
Sure.
But where I'm trying to go with this is the mother, Shanda Sharer's mother, was shown a video of Melinda, the main girl, training these puppies and how much care and attention she gave them and how much love she showed them. She was so moved by that the mother of the victim, Shanda's mother, and the killer, Melinda, are really close to each other now in a very interesting twist.
Wow.
And in fact...
I can't say that I would do that, honestly.
Well, the mother actually was so moved by her... I mean, because they're all teenagers at the time. I know that's not really an excuse,
but they did something, they took it too fucking far.
Yeah.
And and they laughed at it. They thought it was cool. And
then Melinda grew up in abusive.
I don't think that excuses anything.
What do you guys think out there, tacos and fans? Get on the comment to us on the post. Tell us, do you think Melinda would have been this way if she wasn't sexually abused by her father? I mean, if you read the book, it's free on Kindle. It's awful, the amount of abuse she went through. I mean, she was so dependent on her dad, and she just denied all this sexual abuse. It's like she didn't even know it was happening. I mean, from a baby, she was getting abused. So what I want to say is Shanda's mother actually donated a dog for Melinda to train.
Oh, that's
nice. The dog's name is Angel. And you remember, like, Melinda trains them from puppies and then eventually has to give them to whoever they're going to. So she goes through this love, hate, bittersweet. She's like really learning what it is like to lose something because she's loving this dog so much, and then she's giving it up. I really do think if there's anyone that has quote unquote been rehabilitated, it is her. But that's your opinion. Watch the video on the post and let me know what you think. But that's all I have.
I think that's great that she's doing something meaningful with her time in prison. I don't think she should be let out earlier than her sentence.
Yeah, but that is my story on Shanda Sharer, and I hope you guys enjoyed that story.
Well, that was fucking wild.
Yeah, so next week we're doing some taco specials. I'm trying to get them out the way for you guys. So I'm going to be putting in a lot of work, so make sure to request your stories if you're a Supremo or a small taco. If you really enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button on whatever podcasting app you use. If you really like this episode, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're absolutely obsessed with this podcast and want to become our stalker, go to talkmurder.com/join, become a Taco Supremo, get a badass t-shirt, sticker, swag, a lot of love, shout out all over the place. Tell me what story you may do. I'll research it, dedicated to you on the Talk Murder podcast. My name is John, here with Jen and Nicole, and until next time, good night, my witches.